So if you could live anywhere, where would you live? Well, I absolutely fell in love with Colorado Springs. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you a variety of reasons why. And if you're having to move here because you're military and you're a PCS, or maybe you're coming here for work, then stay tuned as I share with you some of the great things about living in Colorado Springs. Welcome, I'm Laura Gallant. I'm a full-time realtor here with ERA Shields in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And on this channel, I offer real estate tips and local knowledge, and my goal is to help you fall in love with Colorado Springs. Today, I'm going to talk to you about all of the reasons why I absolutely love living here and why I fell in love with Colorado Springs. So Colorado Springs ranks on tons of different reports, and News and World Report in 2020 actually has us as the 4th best place to live. And I know that currently on one of the reports, we are the #1 best economy for a variety of reasons. But why should you move here? If you haven't been PCS'd here and you're choosing a place to live, let me share with you some of the amazing things that happen here. I grew up in Southern California on the beach, and I love the ocean and I miss it. But what I don't miss are the crowds. Now, we have a population of about 735,000 in El Paso County. In Colorado Springs itself, we're a little over 400,000 in population, but the county is quite large, but it's also extremely spread out. So there's still the possibility of buying homes on half acres or 2.5 acres or 5 acres or 10 acres. And that's attractive for many people. We have quite a bit more space than living in a big city. One of the great things about this city, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're far out on the prairies in the east, you can see the entire mountain range. You see Pikes Peak as the top, and you can see the surrounding foothills that flow outside of it. If you're in the city, you can catch good glimpses of the peak from many different areas of the city. If you're west, you're a little bit more into the crevices, and you actually see a lot of depth to the actual peak. So one of the amazing things about our city is that we're nestled just below Pikes Peak. It's a 14,000 foot mountain, and the state of Colorado is actually the highest average elevation state. It has the most 14,000 and above peaks anywhere in the US. Something that I absolutely love where I live on the west side is the wildlife. I grew up in the city. Maybe we saw a squirrel and it was usually very sick, but we have so much wildlife, and it can cause an issue at times. Definitely deer get hit every so often, and raccoons and that. But in my backyard alone, on the west side of town, I have seen bear, mountain lion, bobcat, raccoons, of course, squirrels. We have bunny rabbits. We have gray foxes. We have black hawks. We have regular red-tailed hawks. Eagles. We have seen moose in town. We have elk near us. Tons of deer, tons and tons of deer. And if you drive out east, you're going to see the herds of antelope. They're called pronghorns. And you'll also, just this last week or so, the bighorn sheep were in Garden of the Gods, which is very close to me. It's just amazing. And I love that after growing up in the city, to see wildlife literally walking through my backyard. It's wonderful. Now that might be scary for you, but honestly, it's just such an amazing part of living here in Colorado Springs. We have all 4 seasons here. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, we are called bipolar weather here at times. We literally can see warm weather where you take your jacket off, you're just in a t-shirt. Blustery winds come up, hail that hits, and then snow that hits, and then boom, it's back to a nice clear sky. We have over 300 days of sunshine. We have a dry climate. We are a high desert, so you will feel the dryness. Your eyes may get dry initially. You'll need to drink lots of water when you first come here and acclimate yourself, and throughout the summertime. But that heat is dry heat, so it doesn't feel the same as it would if it was a high humidity area. One of the big pulls of this area, because we are one of the healthiest cities in the nation, is the amount of bike trails, mountain biking, hiking trails, snowshoeing. You could cross-country ski in some areas that are pretty close. You can sled. There's so much outdoor activities to be found around our city. We have zip lines, we have hikes up to waterfalls. It's just amazing. And that's a huge pull for many people because right after work, you can just shoot out your front door. In my neighborhood, we can walk up half a mile and we're in the trails. And in many of the neighborhoods, they've designed them in that fashion. So you can get outside after work and actually get your exercise in and enjoy the beautiful views of Colorado Springs. The city is filled with museums and lots of art. In fact, Manitou Springs was named one of the art cities in the nation. So we have over 30 museums and 65 art galleries throughout the city. So if you're an artist, I know my neighbor is, and she paints, and it's just a great place to be. Not only are the views spectacular and inspirational for you, but there's so much for you to see and experience. A lot of the art is placed throughout the city. You'll see them in shopping centers. You'll see them at the universities. You'll see them at hotels. It's a great place to come for art and look at some of the galleries. So if you're into art, check out Colorado Springs art scene. It's quite amazing. One of the things I noticed as I moved east, coming out of a big city like Los Angeles, California, I grew up in Venice, California, is the friendliness of the towns. People actually talk to you. They go eye to eye with you. And that's absolutely exactly what happens here in Colorado Springs. It's just such a warm, friendly city. Even in our 5-star hotel of the Broadmoor, you can go in there dressed any comfortable way you like and still fit in. And I love that part about this city. We have a lot of hometown restaurants. So if you like to shop local, you can shop local. But I mean, we have Asian fusion, we have vegan, we have vegetarian, we have the carnivore meat eating restaurants. But there's so much to choose from. We have tons of great bakeries, French bakeries, and just a good variety of foods. And lots of food trucks. That's a new thing. And you'll find those food trucks at the brewery. There are lots of breweries and craft brew places that you can go to. There's over 40 in El Paso County. So if you're into breweries, Colorado Springs and Manitou Springs are great places to go. We have lots of outdoor music venues. So in Manitou, they have one in the park. They have one in their little amphitheater. In Colorado Springs, they have it going on downtown in the local park there. But a lot of the meeting places will have live music. And it's just great. So not only do the artists, the musicians have that opportunity to be able to get their music out there and engage people with their gifts, but you get to enjoy it and have a great meal or have a spirit at one of the places. So we have a lot of outdoor live music and even indoor live music. It's quite exciting, but it's also one more way that this city really helps make connections with people. And I love that. So we are just a few hours from some of the ski resorts. Monarch is about an hour 45 up the mountain. And if you were dropping into Breckenridge, Colorado, which takes you towards A-Base, I think A-Base, and we get there in about, or Keystone, we get there in about 2 hours and 30 minutes. But you could actually do a day skiing from here and not even have to stay up there. You can head up, you can get to the ski resorts very quickly from here. We are central. We are central to Colorado. You could make it to downtown Denver for a concert in an hour's drive and be back that night. We can go south and we can get into the great sand dunes. I think it's about 3 hours down the way and do a wonderful trip there. You can go to Canyon City and take the train ride and see the Royal Gorge Bridge and that park out there. And that's only like an hour and a half away. So it's central to a lot of great parts of Colorado. Mount Princeton Hot Springs is literally, I think it takes us an hour and a half, and we do that as a day trip often. Then we have lunch in Buena Vista and totally enjoy the day. So there's such great things to do on just a day trip. It's just a great place to live. But if you want to know anything more about this area, please feel free to reach out to me. If you're considering a move here, feel free to talk to me about what that takes to make that move happen. I'll be happy to help you with that. Thanks so much for watching. If you found value in this video, like and subscribe. And if you need anything from me, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful day.